Welcome to Balance Reflections. I'm Lightning Rider. Here we explore mindset mastery, travel transformations, and the art of alchemy. Join me on a wild ride around the world and into the mind, because when you change your mind, you change your world. There was a moment where Jess and I were sitting in our underwear in a cabin with no aircon on a volcanic island in the largest lake in Nicaragua. Sweating relentlessly from the heat, Jess turned to me and said, "I've had enough. I want to feel the cold again." We had been traveling and experiencing intense, unyielding heat for many months. I love and thrive in the heat, but I was with her. We needed a change. We slowly started migrating up through Central America, Mexico, United States, and found ourselves in 2025 in Canada. Vancouver was an experience for another time, but this chapter takes place in the beautiful city of Calgary. And every time we told people we were headed there, their reaction was the same. It's like we just announced we were planning on doing hill sprints in the favelas of Rio. We were expected to touch down in the middle of a cold snap, with temperatures reaching minus 26 to minus 30 degrees. The coldest place by far that I've ever been. Growing up in Tasmania, I have always hated the cold. My memories are plagued by recollections of wet, cold, grey, depressingly long winters. However, I had a new mindset. I was excited to embrace the experience, knowing that nothing is permanent. The only thing constant in life is change. Everything has its beginning, its growth, its peak, and its decay. Life follows cycles. We see it in astronomy, biology, financial markets, civilizations, human behaviour, nature itself. The evolution. The cold Calgary winter also represented in the death of Jess and my relationship. Death sounds so fatalistic, doesn't it? Well, it doesn't have to be. We can choose to mourn loss or celebrate life. We can acknowledge that at some point everything ends and take joy knowing that death always spawns new life. Jess and I had a beautiful love, and we always agreed, if things ever fell too far out of balance, we will face the future through the lens of love and not fear. It is for this very reason that we are still close friends with so much love and gratitude for each other, for the time we shared, every moment and memory that we created together. The Wolfman and the Gooseman. It was the same time that I was writing my ebook, Keys to Mastery. Life sure has a way with its timing. I was in deep reflection, challenging my old beliefs, reshaping my identity, and the universe delivered me the ultimate test. Far from home, with no friends, no family, no one to lean on but myself. I believe our lives begin like a bubbling spring. The spring evolves and joins the river of life. We wash up on different banks of the river at different times in our lives. Here we meet people, find new opportunities, good and bad versions of both, and we get to choose how long we stay on the bank for. We can paddle across the river to the other side, which will take more of our energy as we go against the flow. We can even paddle upstream for a duration of time, fully going out against the flow, expelling a great deal of energy. At some point, we need to decide what is good resistance, meaning learning opportunities leading to growth versus when we are out of balance and forcing things, disregarding the subtle guidance that the universe or God is always showing us. At some point, we will get back into the river and continue with the flow. Maybe we've picked up some new skills, maybe we have picked up a new partner or companion that will be on our journey with us for an unknown amount of time. Maybe they will get off at a fork in the river and go their own way. Maybe we'll meet them again in the future. The river will always make its way back to the ocean, where we are reborn again. My fucking ass is so sore. This was actually the day before we acknowledged our time had come to an end. My, how a lot can change in 24 hours. We never know what the future will hold. We can't change our past, but we can learn from it. All we have is this present moment. How do we choose to spend our time? What areas of life are we taking for granted? Are we holding ourselves back by putting things off? Calgary was such a beautiful city, modern and sleek downtown. It was cold, yes, but the skies were blue for the most part, and life was handing out lessons with every sunrise. We were making our way through North America and Canada using a website called Trusted House Sitters, and it's a platform where you look after people's homes and animals while they're away. It's a brilliant exchange. They get peace of mind, you get free accommodation in a part of the world where housing costs can devour your budget faster than an American can consume a triple stack pancake at breakfast. Shout out to Bobby K Jr. for making America lean and clean again. The biggest icing on the donut though is you get to care for animals, like Goose, the Goose Man. The sweet dog we looked after there, building bonds and easing the stress for both the owner and the animal. It's also fascinating to peek into the lives of others, how people live, what they surround themselves with, the homes they build, how they express, decorate and organise. Justin and Britta had it sorted. Living in their house was an absolute blast. Looking back on the last 20 months on the road, we've been so blessed. So lucky to experience all that we have. If the town of Banff was something out of a movie, then our next stop was something out of a fairy tale. As the trees parted and revealed the beauty of Lake Louise, it felt like we had stepped into a different reality.
¿Dónde está, Juan? No sé dónde está. Wow, fucking hell.
Looks like we're all sensitive species no matter how big and hairy we are.
3 steps.
Skating on the frozen lake, watching families play, people playing ice hockey, and the always guilty pleasure of laughing when someone's confidence and capabilities gets mixed up. I was hoping I would not be on the latter list, as this was the first time I had put stress and uncontrolled movements onto my knee from tearing my MCL in Mexico months before. Jess and I supported one another, but it drove home a truth I believe with everything inside. We can't place our healing in someone else's hands. We can't hold others as emotional hostages just because we're afraid to face ourselves. The world tries to teach us, through music, through movies, that if you leave me, I'll fall apart. I can't live without you. I'll do anything just to keep you here. But isn't that backwards? If our happiness, worth, and purpose are built on someone else, we've given away our power. We've chained ourselves to an illusion, and we've burdened somebody else with a responsibility that was never theirs to carry. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. Thank you for watching. I trust you receive some value and satisfaction. Help me beat YouTube's algorithmic dictatorship by loving the like button, gently clicking the subscribe button, alert the notifications button, and share my content around like stories at the campfire. Remember friends, faster alone and further together. When we change our minds, we change our worlds. I'm Lightning Rider, and I'll see you in the next one.